everyone, we are back with some more Road to Glory, and this time we are in the National League of Switzerland, and we will be playing as the ZSC Lions. I did not get any offers over the course of the entire year, so it is now July 1st, 2031, as opposed to 2030, where we left off in the last one. And of course, in the last one, we won the ECHL with the Atlantic City Boardwalk Bullies, meaning we earned the right to move on to the next league. And I chose the ZSC Lions for a couple of reasons. First off, we're going to take a look at their financials. They have the highest budget in the National League. So I thought working with a large budget would be pretty fun. And in combination with that, what was interesting is they didn't make the playoffs last year. Even with the largest budget in the entire league, they didn't make the playoffs. Now, it could just be coincidence because, the past two seasons, at the very least, they were really good. 46-6, and then 30, 15, and 4. But then this past season, only 22, 22, and 8. So that may just be coincidence. Like, they may have had some injuries here and there that might have prevented them from making the playoffs. But I thought in combination with the budgets and their record last year, and the fact that they play in the National League where there's no risk of relegation, this was a pretty attractive place to come and be the GM. So I think the biggest challenge here is going to be finding good non-foreign players. Because as we see, the majority of the players on this roster are from Switzerland, obviously, since this is a Swiss league. And you're only allowed 5 foreigners total on the roster. We already have 3 in the form of Kisakov, Mirzabaliev, and Craighead. Now, obviously, all the other teams in the league have that restriction too, but it's going to limit our options when it comes to free agency and actually improving our team. So one guy who I want to sign right now is Luka Koch. He's got 18 puck handling, 16 passing, got a pretty good defensive category with his 16 defensive read and 17 stick checking. And he also has some past experience in the National League. However, he has played the past 2 seasons in the AHL, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect out of him. I mean, his simulation, it looks like grade-wise, hasn't been great. But with his ratings the way they are, I think he'll find at least some sort of success here. So we're going to offer him a contract. He wants 4 years for $525,000. I also want to approach Tommaso De Luca. He played last season with Lugano. He had 37 points in 50 games. But what really stands out about him is that he hasn't had really any grade below a 67, I think, or a 66 in the simulation, and that was year number 1. This guy would be really good to go after. He's had quite a bit of success internationally, it looks like, with Italy. He's also part Swiss, so I don't think he'll count against our foreign player count. He's got 18 for puck handling, so that's already, in of itself, pretty attractive. So yeah, I think we're going to assign Tommaso De Luca here if we can. And he's pretty cheap as well, $300,000 for 3 years. I will absolutely do that. I think we're going to get one more defenseman and one more forward, and then we should be set to go as far as our main roster goes. Actually, we also need a second goaltender. So that's definitely important. So we're going to, actually, I'll see if we have any other goalies in our system. No, we do not. So we're definitely going to have to sign one. Actually, who else is in our system? You have Dominic Diem, 34 years of age? Don't think so. And then you also have Sven Jung, 36 years of age. Yeah, I think I'll leave those guys in the system. I think we're going to sign this guy, Joel Bieri, because, first of all, he's been a champion in this league 2 years in a row, both with Lausanne and with SC Bern last year. But what is perhaps even more impressive, as a defenseman, actually, he's part forward as well, so he could play really anywhere you need him. He was the playoff MVP last year, so I certainly see no reason why we shouldn't sign him. Yeah, he had 15 points in 18 games last year on the back end for Bern. He had a 60 grade. I don't see why not. If he's willing to sign with us, then yeah, absolutely I will do that. That is a steal. So let's hope that this guy signs with us because he's clearly got a pretty good track record, at least so far in the simulation, at least recently. So I certainly don't see any reason why not. And I think the last player I'm going to sign is Eric Olans Lind. He's 27 years of age. He's got some really good defensive potential. He's got the 16 screening, 16 positioning, 17 stamina, so he could be out there for a while if you need him to. Team players at 15, checkings at 15. He's just so solid all around. And I think even though last year, grade-wise, he wasn't great, his history with grades overall in the simulation is not bad at all. So I think I definitely want to try him out and see how he works on this team, because I think we could use a defensive specialist like himself. And I don't know if he counts against the foreign player limit or not. He's from Sweden. but still, it shouldn't be a problem because I believe he was the only possible foreign player that we signed. But still, I don't know if Sweden counts as a foreign nation here in this league or not. Because when I was looking at the roster, I noticed Payer and Smirnovs, who are from Latvia and Austria, respectively, are not foreign. So I'm not entirely sure what counts as foreign and what doesn't in this league. I mean, obviously Canada is foreign. We do have a Canadian, Craighead, on our team, but apparently Russia also counts as foreign, as these two guys, right? But with that all being done, I've approached every roster player that I want. Although before we move on, I will see if there's any like 16-year-olds that we can sign, because we can sign players that are 16 years of age. Well, there's no 16-year-olds, but there is a 17-year-old in Charlie Loescher. He did actually play for the ZSC Lions U18 team last year, so I don't see why we shouldn't at least give him the opportunity to come back here. We'll give him $70,000 for 3 years. That looks good to me. Oh my, have a look at who is in the coaching free agency. The man who won it for us in Atlantic City, Chrysler Dahlqvist. He's for some reason here. I guess Atlantic City fired him for whatever reason. But you know what? We know how he works. He's definitely one of the better defensive coaches out there, I think. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be an offensive or defensive team that we're working with here. But just given that we know his track record, at least so far in the simulation, I see no reason why he shouldn't be our head coach. So there you go, reunited with our former coach in Atlantic City, Chrysler Dahlqvist. We have all of our other coaching staff set as well. Our goalie coach, defensive coach, offensive coach, skill coach, and trainer have all been set. All right, so it's now July 11th. We have gotten every player that we wanted on our squad. We have Loescher and Riesen in goal. On defense, you have Coach and Bieri. Bieri, we actually got into a bidding war a little bit there with another team. But in the end, we did come out on top. We signed him in the end for $735,000. So I believe that makes him one of the higher paid players on our team. And at forward, we now have Olans Lind and DeLuca. And out of all of those players, only Olans Lind is a foreigner. So we are within the foreigners limit. We have 24 players on our roster. I'm not entirely sure what the roster limit is for this league. I would imagine not any more than 25, since the dress limit is 22. And the roster limit is, 25 players. Okay, so we're within the roster limit as well. There's no salary cap for this league. It's just based off budget. So we should be good to go here. Well, this is another unfortunate part of this league, is that our players can be signed into the NHL at any time, it appears. As Charlie Loescher, one of the goaltenders we signed, he wasn't on our main roster, but he was indeed signed by the LA Kings, and now he's over there in Ontario. And there's not much we can do about it. I mean, that's fine. You know, it's just part of how this league goes, but I could definitely see that getting annoying. So hopefully that doesn't happen too often. All right, so we have gone through preseason. Saw some things I liked, saw some things I didn't like. I guess we're just going to have to see how the sim treats us, because the preseason definitely was not favorable. We only had 3 wins there out of 7 games, so hopefully we can get our act together for the regular season. Yeah, our depths kind of dropped the ball there, unfortunately, as we see by the grades. So as long as our good players are simulating well, then finding depth that is also going to simulate well should be a slightly easier task, I would imagine. But I think with that, we're going to end things off here, and in the next one, we'll get to our first season simulation with the ZSC Lions.